All right, and it is time for our first round of the day here. All full clears on Peggle Deluxe by Brassbeat. Brassbeat, take it away.
Hello everyone. Yeah, I'm gonna be doing a pretty interesting Peggle run. It's gonna be all full clears is basically sort of an entry point to what can be some of the very long and challenging categories in Peggle. So I hope I'm gonna be able to do well. And uh, without further ado, I guess we can get going. So timer starts when I click this adventure button. So get ready to start in 3, 2, 1, and go. We can see here the basic gameplay of Peggle. We have a big pachinko board in front of us, and we need to normally in an any percent run, we would have to clear out all of the orange packs of the level to beat it. However, this category is called all full clears, and what that means is we have to, well, achieve a full clear on every one of these levels. Which basically means clearing out all of the packs, including of the blue ones that you see here. Now there is a sort of interesting quirk that's sort of is close to exclusive to the get into. What you see here, it is the first instance of what we call pixel strats. So essentially, the physics of this game is still deterministic, even though the positions of the orange packs are all random. So what we can do is we can basically just have specific shots prepared that we know are gonna be pretty strong. I'm hearing that some slight audio issues. Hopefully things should be a bit better now. So yeah, at the beginning of we can often start a level by just getting some good prepared shots in early on, but afterwards we're mostly down to we mostly have to rely on improvised shots to actually beat the level. That's awkward. The shot I was trying to go for here actually has quite of a kind of a tough setup, so I actually ended up missing it. That doesn't happen too often. In any percent, we don't really need such a strong strat to actually be able to beat the level, but it does save time near the beginning, which would be nice to which would be pretty nice to get. So anyway, now we actually see the in the third level, the game introduces us to its special mechanics. The green packs that you saw at the beginning, they unlock a special power that is depends on the character that we're using. In adventure mode, for most of up until like the very end of the game, the game's just gonna tell us which characters to use. So in this case, we're using Bjorn, which you may have seen gave us a sort of aim assist. Which sounds like in a speedrun shouldn't be that strong, but we still typically manage to get good use out of it. That's what's... So in many cases, when I go for strats, you can also sort of go for a specific bucket timing, the bucket that sort of sweeps back and forth underneath the level. If it catches the ball, then you basically get to reuse it for the remain. Get to reuse the ball afterwards, which is pretty convenient since. Especially since we're going for full clears now, we actually need a lot of resources in terms of like the shots that we're allowed to make. So yeah, any sort of assist we can get in order to beat the level more easily, we're gonna happily take it. What was this one? So for any percent, you actually go for a different. I tend to go for a different pixel strat for the second shot, but for the full clear, it's nice to sort of get a strat that's a bit slower in terms of efficiency, but it does actually clear out more guaranteed pegs. So, the most elementary mechanic that you've seen me do all throughout the levels is something what the game likes to call free ball skills. We just typically just say free balling because that's too many words. But basically, what we gotta do is we just try to bounce the ball off of a single peg into the bucket. Okay, so far I've missed quite a few, so that was a bit risky since I had only one ball left, but thankfully we did not get punished for it. So now we've gone over to stage 2, and for this we get a new character. You can see what it does. We get a very wicked multi-ball. And for the wicked multi-ball, we have a pretty wicked strat prepared. That specific shot is close to guaranteed to get both of the balls in the bucket, which does of course give you 2 free balls instead of 1. Yeah, you saw a bit of a weak multi-ball shot there. That's sort of the what tends to be the sort of a common theme in multi-ball, which is that its usefulness is a bit inconsistent, I would say. So, yeah, as for how this category sort of came to be, hang on, I need to look at this. So as for how this category came to be, the game does not immediately treat all full clears as something you want to be going for, basically. If you were to 100% this game, then what that would entail is, first of all, beating adventure mode. Second of all, is clearing all of the post-game challenges the game has to offer. There are quite a bit. There's quite a handful of them. Unfortunately, in this game, most of these challenges tend to be a bit boring, I would say. They were not really that inventive in sort of making interesting challenge goals to go for, basically. So yeah, there's like some that are interesting, like there's some that involve getting high scores. Some challenges are ones where you gotta build be able to beat multiple levels in a row, basically. Which, as a casual challenge, is pretty alright. In the speedrun, those challenges are kind of the most boring ones, usually. But yeah, that's kind of how the challenges work in this game. And then the third goal is getting the full clears. Now, it turns out that basically this game sort of has an intended order in which you should go for these, in which the player is expected to go for these goals. So you do first adventure modes, then challenges, then full clears, and so there's like three different credit sequences that you can get in that way. And in some sense, all full clears, which is this category, is sort of an arbitrary category in that we go for full clears, but not for the challenges. It turned with the way the 100% category evolved, which is called Extreme Grandmaster. That one's actually pretty interesting, since we found out you can sort of tackle a lot of the full clears in those random level challenges, which gives that section of the run a really interesting dynamic. But what it does mean is that basically all full clears is actually ends up having its very own dynamic, in that we end up actually going for full clears with all of these with all the different masters that we're forced to play with in adventure mode, which is pretty interesting, since it means we're going for a pretty hard goal with sometimes not very strong powers available to us, simply because replaying a level would be slow. Okay, looks like this is the first time sort of a level is going quite terribly for me, so I think I'm just gonna skip this one. With how that level was going, I would have to basically freeball like 20 or so balls in a row, which probably would be way too risky to go for, honestly. That's sort of some extent, that's just kind of how this category goes. You have a lot. You have to make a lot of these trade-offs of whether you want to play safely or whether you want to risk on the fly. Which again gives I think this gives this category in particular very interesting flavor compared to a lot of Peggle categories. This level had a lot of moving garbage, as you can see, so going for it with Jimmy would be way too hard. This one. So we now actually get see our third character, which is very infamous in the Peggle category, Peggle community. Basically, what Cat Tut does is it gives the bucket this little structure on its sides, which can theoretically be helpful. You can probably imagine that in speedruns, it tends to just lose us a lot of time usually when we get it. So yeah, we just gotta get those free balls. And that's another level then. So this level is pretty so in Extreme Grandmaster, this is a very interesting level since oh, what the hell happened here? Since there is a since in that category we would be going for challenges as well, and there is a certain score challenge attached to this level, which, as it turns out, getting that score challenge, the score challenge is something that we would really want to get be able to get now, since in adventure mode, you can actually mark off that goal, whereas and there's not a lot of other options available to actually get it. So as you can see, this level is giving me a bit more trouble than most. Will be just a bit of just a little bit rough on for the full clear, but the score challenge makes this level so much harder. It's actually like although here's the thing, I'm saying this, but this one's gonna be really awkward. Not sure if this is gonna... Okay, it does work. And now I'm not sure if this is gonna work. Okay, that worked as well. I got pretty lucky there, not gonna lie. So on this level, I want to be able to get my free balls from the strats. I forgot what to time for. That one. So in this case, things are looking a bit weird for my liking, since I kind of took a layout that's like really weird to play with. Basically, I've already mentioned the bucket as a source to get some extra shots, but there's another thing we can go for, and that is actually points. As you can see here, the bar on the left that sort of marks how many points we get for a shot, and if we get 25,000 points, we actually get a bonus free ball. And this can be a pretty big benefit. Oh, that's not good. Okay. Thankfully I didn't miss these. So this level is incredibly janky to play out because of these pedals that tend to get in the way a lot. So I can just kind of see how things go, but this is another one where it's actually kind of unlikely that I will go for the full clear now. In any percent, this is easily like one of the hardest levels to play quickly, since basically what happens is because of well, how the things tend to turn out with the pedals, you tend to have to go for quite weird approaches to sort of not lose too much time on it. Alright, I'm not gonna risk this one. So this level has another pretty cool opening strat, and then it just kind of works. It tends to have more of the works more like most normal other levels, basically. So I can continue talking about points. On the right hand side here, you see the fever meter, and what basically it goes up whenever you hit an orange, and then the numbers on the side that light up, that actually shows the multiplier. And as you can see here, I actually got a free ball from just hitting 5 pegs, and that's partly because I took the time to sort of go for lots of oranges early. That raises the multiplier quite quickly, and especially getting to the times 10 is extremely overpowered. Since, yeah, going from times 5 to times 10, that immediately doubles the points you get, so in almost all instances when I have to manage points, what I'll do is I try to get to times 10 as fast as possible, and then try to make sure I have as many blue pegs left as possible when I get there, so that I can get like strong combos going off of those. And yeah, we've reached stage 4, and stage 4 has probably one of the as the first like actually strong master that you're gonna see, which is Splork. You kind of saw it a bit right here actually. You get a you get a pretty sizable explosion, which clears out a lot of specs for us. This is really jank. So unlike it before, I just failed the level there. That's just that's gonna happen pretty well. That's not at all out of the question. A lot of levels are just it's actually quite hard to avoid deaths normally in an any percent run, and it's even harder to avoid deaths when you have to go for full clears. But because I'm now playing with a stronger master, there's not really a point in sort of chickening out and coming back with a stronger master, because you could argue there are reasonable options for this level in particular, outside of Splork, but a lot of the other levels, they don't really have good options available. As you can see, the level is going much better now, so I can make quick work of it here. There's sort of an interesting, very hidden. Actually, hang on. Let's hope I get this. Doesn't look like it. I don't want this layout. So this huge moving ring is would tend to give us a lot of trouble if we leave it hanging around. So what I'm trying to do here is this is a very peculiar strat, which so far is not really working out. Alright, looks like I got it this time. So, the boss gonna be stuck in here for a while. It's not exactly a, there are, of course, faster ways to get the full clear here, but they tend to all be pretty risky. So, in full game runs, we usually just go for this. There's actually another factor that plays into this, which is, well, a factor that plays into this in other categories, which is that there's another score challenge attached to this level. Which isn't like super free to get if you don't go for this cross strat. And we actually get a setup for a nice slide here that we're going to finish level off with. This is another really janky level, so while Splork is strong enough to like go for it now, it's definitely one of the more annoying levels to try and full clear. and one where you need to, well, basically a lot of practice on to get it reliably. Can't believe I missed that. So in particular, points management is sort of a general gameplay, general sort of game mechanic that sort of comes up often with Splork in particular, since especially because Space Blast is probably one of the stronger powers, in particular for its point scoring potential. Many times, if you can leave a blast that hits a whole bunch of packs really late to the level, you can just bank in an insane haul of points with it. There is a bit of nuance into it, especially the blast that was over here. I went for it early because there's a lot of oranges that it would hit. And, ooh, pretty lucky there. Nice. In many cases, the better approach for points is instead of waiting for when using the blast when it itself scores a lot of points, it's often better to use it early and raise the multiplier quickly. If you can like take out a lot of oranges with it. So yeah, this level went very smoothly, even though it's definitely one of the scarier levels of the run. Now this is a level where there is something to say for attempting the full clear now, but I've never I can never play this level well enough for Splork to beat the level, to get reasonably close to the full clear. In particular, Splork's just pretty janky to play on this level. Especially compared to a master, which we're gonna see really late on, which is particularly strong on this level. But I'll get to explaining to that when we see him. I'm not gonna lie, this actually looks like a pretty strong. I've had a pretty strong mid game of the level, so I think it's worth trying to go for the full clear. There's a lot of really janky angles that we kind of get here, and a lot of times I'm just kind of sort of going by experience of what angle the ball is gonna go at when I hit a specific brick, simply from just having seen that angle before. That's how you tackle a lot of the harder brick levels, basically. So we've now reached the Claude section of the run. Claude gives us flippers, which is a bit janky. usually using the flippers is not very fast. In that case, since I have the point boost close to the bottom, I did try to go for a free ball. In the shorter runs, you rarely get any use out of the flippers. In this category, it's often a matter of being a bit more opportunistic. Now, one thing that's kind of annoying about the flippers is it actually affects the way the bucket swings. As you can see now, the bucket actually swings a lot slower and in a lot smaller, in a much smaller arc than it does without flippers active. So what you saw there is I actually kind of milled out the flipper turns that I got there. I forgot to write down the bucket timings for this strat. Anyhow, this is a pretty interesting level for the Peggle community in particular, since as sort of a community meme, someone kind of assigned the name Gerald to this fish guy over here, and that name kind of stuck. So in part because there's like obviously like I'm losing my train of thought. That doesn't matter though. Just enjoy Gerald for a moment while I take out the rest of this level. So there's often like a bit of a lot of times the end game of the level has a bit of a risk-reward factor attached to it. You can either choose to go for simply free balls killing the pegs one at a time, which is basically the slow and safe option usually, or you can actually try and go for combos. Just trying to actually hit multiple pegs at once, which is often like kind of a tricky thing to do with when there's not like a lot of pegs left, and there's often and it often tends to deplete your resources in terms of remaining balls left quite easily. So this level is also one of the scariest levels in the run. Who would have thought that a level where there's a big moving wave of pegs blocking all the way across the middle of the level would be really annoying to play. I got a pretty good start here, so I think it's worth going for. Especially since this level is actually like kind of janky. The same kind of janky and hard, no matter which master you use. So there's often not a huge point in like waiting for stronger masters in the post game. Waiting for when you have stronger masters in the post game. Alright, that was actually pretty clean as well. I'm really satisfied with how the levels are going so far, but obviously most of the harder levels are still coming up, so I realized I went for the wrong bucket timing on this one. The bucket timing for the opening shot here, it changes whether you get flippers immediately or not. So the strats here, they look pretty strong, but the level is still quite janky because in particular the shape on the right is like really hard to sort of sweep out effectively. So it's kind of the first time that I'm going for something like this, which is picking off the oranges with free balls and then actually going back to going for combos once the multiplier is up. It's something that's not often that useful since usually when the when there's a lot of packs left, free ball skills are obviously just gonna be harder as well because there's more junk in the way. Ooh, let's not miss those. Alright, I'm getting too many misses here. Since there's not a lot of level here, I will kind of... I think I am gonna risk it and actually still go for the full clear on one ball left. Alright. So this level is also it's actually like surprisingly challenging normally. This level ends up sort of killing off my any percent runs more often than not. More often than I'd like to admit sometimes. In spite of the fact that there's like no moving packs here or anything, the shapes of this level are like can be quite kind of janky to tackle. Actually, in this case, I'm also running a bit of risk in what we kind of call the early nut, which is just which basically means accidentally hitting the last orange of the level and finishing the level early before you can actually get the full clear. Okay, so next up is a really interesting strat that we're going for. So I'm going for a specific pixel shot here, but there's also a timing component attached to this. Since we need to interact with the moving packs on the middle row in particular. To get this triple slide here. Really wicked strat. And it's kind of hard to get it naturally since there's you have a really narrow window to work with. There's 3 frames to get it, but this game runs at 100 frames per second, so it's more comparable to like just over 1.5 frames on a on your standard 60 FPS console game. Which is something that obviously in a lot of speedruns are just kind of commonplace, those kind of frame perfect tricks, but especially in a game like Peggle where those kind of tight timings don't actually show up that often. It makes the strat kind of infamous in the community. This strat particularly infamous, and there's also one on the final level, on the very final level of the run, that's really awful. Because that one is in fact literally frame perfect. As a result, not that many runners actually go for that one in full runs, but well, so far it actually looks like the run's going really smoothly, so maybe I'll have the time to give it a decent shot near the end of the run. We'll see. So we've long since moved into to the Renfield section of the run. Renfield's kind of an interesting, has a rather interesting power to for speedrunning purposes. We basically get a sort of wraparound effect, which essentially means we have a very undirected extra shot we get to use, which common sense would say that's not such an undirected shot is actually very unlikely to be good, but it turns out the devs sort of realized that it's not actually that strong. So what they did is they sneakily gave this spooky bow effect a bit of a points optimization effect. Which basically means that the shot that you're gonna get is just sort of gonna be better than average. It's gonna be nudged in the turnaround to give you a shot that's better on average. So this level looks really janky with all of the obstacles. It can be really janky to play out, but this is one of the levels that really gets sort of that almost gets done dirty by the strength of the openers that we found over the years. I say over the years, the real the sort of when this sort of period where this game sort of started really popping off is actually not too has actually not been too long ago. Probably like early 2022 or something. In particular, a lot of the sort of mainstay Peggle runners now, they actually came in because of a big name, because of a certain big name streamer called Duck Duck. He actually started speedrunning this game when the community was not like ridiculously active, and as a result, a lot of the community there sort of started speedrunning Peggle as well, and a whole bunch of them sort of stuck around. Which is a pretty interesting thing Which, so I would say it actually gives the community a pretty interesting complexion, since it means that not a lot of runners here sort of arrived from like the greater speedrunning community. So I get to see a lot of new people. So when you start speedrunning Peggle, you get to see a lot of new people there, and as an intern, I actually get to see a lot of new people when I like sort of join these kinds of online marathons, which is pretty cool. So this is a pretty straightforward level for most of it. The strats that I'm going for are a bit different from what I would be going for in any percent, because of the which is actually a holdover from Extreme Grandmaster, where this level has a points challenge that can get really annoying. So, yeah, we're now seeing yeah, so now we get to see Tula. Tula's power, what it does is it instantly lights up. When you hit the green, it instantly lights up 20% of the remaining packs. So, as you saw there, when we had 6 packs left, then 20% of that rounds up to 2, so we hit 2 packs. Which is obviously not super strong for full clearing the level. In like the shorter categories, Tula is actually a pretty strong master, because obviously just getting 20% of the goal of what you're getting 20% of the goal you would be going for is obviously like really strong. But here in many cases, if we could be making use of hitting oranges early for scoring purposes, then that usually means that a different master is just much better for full clearing. So for most of these levels, Tula's gonna be very middle of the ground master, where we can go for the full clear, but I do have to play a bit safely so I can actually like not lose levels unnecessarily. I haven't sort of mentioned it really. But there is a bit of Peggle lore such that this level this level as well. There was a chatter in and there was actually a like regular chatter in one of other runners' streams who what was I gonna say? Feel like I lost my train of thought here again. No worries, that's just what's gonna happen after. That's just kind of what's gonna happen after an hour of playing Peggle. I still have probably more than an hour to go, so yeah, this level in particular, it's the moving ring is obviously like really annoying to deal with. I tried to make sure that I had a good slide, to go for on the on those moving rings, which worked well on the one of the rings, but not on the other in this case. This does not look unworkable, so I will keep trying. So of course, playing like a big section of the level with one orange left obviously risks getting an early nut, but getting an early nut on with a weak master, it does still like beat the level, so you kind of don't really lose as much time for getting an early nut with a weaker master, as opposed to just straight up dying with an weaker master. So this one, like 7-1, is a level that's just too janky to even try to beat with Tula. It turns out there's some tricks you can go in. There's some tricks you can do in this level that make the full clear almost trivial. So there's no reason to fuss about getting it now. This level is also really janky to go for the full clear now. It's actually in particular because of these lots of bricks in the middle of the level, since there's not a good way to sort of reliably get free boss kills off of them, so more often than not, if you go for the full clear now, you have to spend way too long on just picking off the way too many resources on picking up the all of those bricks one by one. This one seems fine. Alright, so we now have levels to play with Warren, and Warren is Literally one of the most RNG-based masters to use. As you can see, you get... we literally don't know what power we're gonna get when we hit the green. What we get just depends on what we roll from the lucky spin. Which it has Warren gives us as like a few 3 options that sort of regularly show up on the wheel, and then the bottommost sector is actually like it can have any power off of that we've seen before this section. So since we're at stage 8 now, there's basically 7 options that can show up in the bottom. And of course, most of them are kind of the weaker ones. The best 2 masters that, for full clearing purposes, we probably still have to see actually. They just happen to be stage 9 and 10, so we don't get to be able to roll those with Warren. Ooh, that was really lucky. On top of Warren being very inconsistent, we just get a lot of cursed levels with Warren. We don't go for that. What the hell? No way, that's right. This has been kind of a bad start for this level, so not quite sure if I'm gonna be able to go for the full clear here. Biggest problem is that we just that the first shots end up I missed the pixel shot that I was going for, so I ended up breaking a lot of the good slides in the middle that you can go for. Alright, that was kind of lucky. Alright, I think I just need a few lucky combos. And then I should be good, or a bunch of lucky buckets, that will also do. And after that we get a level that's kind of garbage, not gonna lie. This level just has an unhealthy amount of moving garbage, so there's a very slim chance that my shots just get lucky enough to be able to go for the full clear, but it's actually not a likely thing to go for. Also, I'm having a bit of skill issue. So I'm not getting the kind of shots that I would want to see on this level. Alright, the right side's gone in much more cleanly. Let's do this. I wanted to explain like a bit about what the kind of effects you can get from the lucky spin, but so far we've been getting a lot of extra balls. The extra ball is just an extra ball, kind of what you'd expect. It's pretty decent in terms of being able to beat the level, but it's not exactly something to like write home about. Hey, nice. We actually got that front page slot. It's pretty cool. So this level, again, incredibly janky looking, but the strats that have been developed for this are decently strong. So yeah, most of the time this level is just a bit slow and not like such a big issue. Although all right, finally we're actually seeing something interesting. The magic hat, it doesn't have like collision with the pegs, but it does have an area of effect that sort of lights up of the pegs it touches. No, I want to reset that. Don't know what this is gonna do now. Actually, I think I should do this first. You got more magic hat. Okay. Alright, I still need to spend one of those hat turns to open up the right side, but as you can see, Magic Hat was very, very useful for us. It basically just lets us kind of sweep out one of these pockets really cleanly. Since usually, like, if you go... we can go for, like, reasonable bounces, but they often, like, leave just a little bit of leftovers. Alright, this is going a bit janky, so... that coin that you get when if you end up getting a total whiff, it can give you a note. It can give you it will usually give you back to your ball that you used, but that isn't always the case. It infamously can just show the no ball in like the worst possible moment. A lot of runs have died to it, so it sort of has become known as like one of the main antagonists of Peggle speedrunning. The game does not have an antagonist, but the speedrun definitely does have. So we've now reached the level where, the stage where you get to play as Cinder, and Cinder is probably the strongest master for full clears. For like just regular beating level purposes, it's not quite as clear yet. Then the strongest master is either Cinder or Tula. I think most runners will agree that it's one of the two. We kind of have to sort of gently play around this last orange here. But thankfully that's no big deal for us. This level has gone through a lot of iterations. Oh, I did cut a really weird variant there. Most runners go for a different strategy here that involves a certain pixel shot that gets like 2 slides on the outside. Oh, I messed up. Ugh. The tightness is starting to kick in a little bit. Since a lot of this run is very much relies on improvised gameplay, it does sort of become pretty taxing to sort of run this game, and especially this category for longer periods of time. But yeah, what you saw I did with the fireball there is not exactly the thing, but a variant of a certain of a certain idea that's actually surprisingly recent. Probably like half a year old at most. Which is to shoot the fireball off of the corners of the level. Off of the corner of the bucket, as opposed to oh, I got a very janky shot there. So that's sort of that's the kind of shot you would expect to get from it. You end up, especially in this level, they end up clearing out a whole bunch of the level. Which is sort of nice, having sort of a reliable fireball strat. And part of what makes the strat really great is that it's actually like a lot easier to do than what sort of the intended way to use the fireball. What you can see on the what you're gonna see, like Not now, obviously, because I don't have fireballs, but next time I get fireballs, you want to pay attention to the bucket itself, because it actually gets like the bucket actually gets covered, and you can bounce the fireball on top of it, which is what I'm actually gonna do now. It turns out such a strat is actually strangely precise to sort of do. Usually there's like one specific angle that you want to get that works, but it doesn't. But then it becomes sort of pretty challenging to get a consistent bounce off of the cap of the bucket, because that cap is actually like slightly arced upwards. So in many cases, no, I don't want to go for that. So the strat that I wanted to, that I sort of initially do there, is what you do when you get to this level in any percent. But for full clears, obviously, there's many cases where I want a bit more safety. So I take out a bit of the right side first, and then I do this strat. Since it turns out, since the trees are a bit on the fat side, you don't actually get. It's actually really hard to sort of get a clear shot off of the with a fireball. That's not good. This is a bit janky, so I'll try this. That didn't go that well. So yeah, this is a pretty janky level, and I often have to do a lot of free balling to trip out the level. Alright, those long free boss sections can be pretty scary because you're investing a lot of time into the level, and if you then die, then that's obviously a lot of time wasted. So for this level, there's a whole bunch of pegs that are kind of. There's a handful of pegs here that are kind of like shadowed under this big spinning cane. In that you're never gonna get a direct shot at it. And we actually get to see a new power. This is Zen Ball. Basically what it does is once you shoot, it's gonna simulate a whole bunch of shots that have like a slightly different slightly nudged aim compared to the aim that you did go for, and then it's gonna pick the one that gets the best score. Which is pretty interesting in terms of in the speedrun. This actually puts Who in a very weird spot in that Who's like decently strong, but not quite as strong as Cinder or Tula, or to some extent Splork. And additionally, Who's just really inconsistent. Since in particular you the Who section of the run is so far into an any percent run, there's like a lot of really infamous clips of like really good paced runs just dying because Who didn't find a good shot, or in some cases his point scoring potential gets a bit distracted by the position of the point boost. Since that's worth a lot of points, it also kind of ends up attracting the Zen ball a lot. So you didn't see... Oh no! Okay, so that's the first early nut of the run, actually. That sucks so much, because I was actually gonna comment on, like, how scary that 10-2 is normally to full clear. Since there's, since, like, the, it's such a structure-based level that's just... If a few shots just slightly don't do what you expect them to do, then the level goes south really quickly and often becomes in a position where there's a lot of, like, loose, moving, curved bricks just hanging around that are just impossible to clear out effectively. So I was gonna show my thanks to actually, like, getting a good 10-2, but I kind of pre-jinxed myself. Very funny. Does this reach? I can just do without risking that. Okay. This level just has so much junk that I don't really want to play it with Who. So I'm just gonna clear out this level. So I'm just gonna beat this level normally and move on. And then I'm also gonna do the same thing for the next level, because the next level is how should I say? You have, like, this game has quite a few good levels that are, like, actually provide an interesting challenge. As much as a lot of other runners don't like it, I actually can kind of appreciate levels like 4-4. But then some levels are Zen Frog. I'm not gonna say anything in particular about Zen Frog. You're just gonna experience it yourself. So yeah, as you can see here, like, all I can say is good luck doing anything clever here. Oh. I was gonna like reset actually because my pace wasn't looking super good, but I got a pretty lucky bucket there, so I think this is worth continuing. I got a really bad shot there. That's unfortunate because these two static packs in the corner are also like really hard to hit. Okay, I got something there. Let's just go for this. Alright, I still need to get an extra ball here somewhere. Oh, that's bad. Oof. Got pretty lucky there. I think this is in position where I can line up a bucket. Okay, so that was kind of scary. And with that, we've actually reached the final stage of the game, where we get to choose whatever master we want here. So we're gonna see a lot of Cinderbottom because Cinderbottom is pretty strong. That pixel strat that you saw there, it's probably one of the strongest single strats in the game. In the speedrun, basically. Yeah, usually if before clearing this level, you gotta dig through a lot of jank with all of these curved bricks. So it's nice that this level actually becomes almost free to full clear. Got a bit unlucky here, so and also I'm having a bit of skill issue, it looks like. Wait, I think I know what happened to the notes. I probably put the new strats on a different page. That doesn't make sense as actual commentary. It's just that the notes that I'm looking at kind of had a bunch of weird things somewhere, so... Yeah, that looks like it actually has the new strats. Oh, come on. I messed that up again. Not sure if this is still good. It was kind of alright, but it still leaves us with a lot of jank. So this is a level that's, once again, it's another one of those levels where you just threw a bunch of pixels at it until it dies. And then this one incredibly janky. Actually, no, not this one. This is fine. I'm gonna focus a bit on this for this. You're not gonna see the main mechanic of this level yet. That doesn't look right at all. Alright, I'm just remembering where I am. It's so with this level we go for a lot of these predetermined shots before it like truly budges. Even now the level isn't super free yet. As you can see, what we gotta deal with here is to reach most of this level, what we gotta do is like aim through the portals, for which the exit of it is the UFO that's just moving around. So there's a lot of things we can't do with this. That sucks. What's the play here? Alright, so a bunch of these haven't been like super lucky, but as long as I don't have skill issue here, I should be alright. Wait, does that reach? I think it reaches. There you go. Now I need to super not have skill issue. I'm not the greatest at actually aiming through these portals, as you can see. Alright, I did get it. Thank you. Now this is a very funny level. I can't tell which side this is. I think my strats say right side first. And this one at +8. Dang it, I forgot which 7. This one. I actually just kind of forgot one of the pixels I'm supposed to go for here. So the strats leave a handful of pecks in the lower middle, so I'm gonna take these out first. And then these slots, you can freeball them just fine, so... Oh, that's a miss. Alright, now I need to be slightly careful. Okay, I did not produce an early nut. Thank you. So this is that really hard frame perfect strat that I've been talking about. I am gonna give it a few tries, but Not too many, since I honestly haven't practiced it, and also in this category it's just slower. Okay, that was really close, but I think I've had enough of it. So instead we get to see more fireballs. Which is also a pretty cool strat. Hey, that's a really bad variant. Unfortunately, I whiffed the second. I missed the timing on the second one, so I gotta reset. In any percent, if you do this, we also go for the strat, and then if you miss it, you just kind of tank the time loss and try to chuck through the level. For full clears, that's just not an option. I don't have nearly as many balls as I'd hoped, so kind of awkward. Gotta go for another long free balling section here. And if it doesn't work, I'll just take a death. Ah, that's too bad. We're missing the not getting the chain on these fireballs is kind of annoying. Because now I gotta like figure out myself. Okay, that was the correct timing to go for Dank 3. Alright, so this time it's looking a bit better. So since this is the final level of any percent, the credits do come up, but of course we still have a bunch of full clears to go, so we gotta keep going a bit. I don't think I've missed that many levels now, so I can actually go here. Okay, there's just 10 more levels left, so let's do these two first. So now what we gotta do is actually pick up the levels that we haven't played yet. So that we haven't like full cleared yet. So with this one, since the strats are really strong, it's the choice of master doesn't like matter a whole lot. I like playing this one with Cinder. Ooh, not good. Alright, so I realize now there's one thing I should have been doing, which is to actually go here. Is who good? I don't think who is that good here. So this is kind of an interesting we're now actually in the post-game challenges of the game. Because as it turns out, most of these challenges actually allow you to sort of mark off the full clear by for a level by doing the challenge, which is pretty interesting design choice, since especially for these ones, we are playing with a different within different sort of with different parameters. In this case, the challenge is that we have more that there are more orange pegs in the level. 35 is in this case it's 45 instead of the usual 25. But this has actually an interesting dynamic in that a lot of the times your my point scoring potential is actually going to be better in these challenges compared to playing the level normally. So there's two levels here, this one and also 7-1, the windmill level, which I just find a bit easier to do in the more orange challenges compared to in quick play, basically. And then this one. Additionally, since Tula's power, it still clears 20% of all oranges, and obviously when you start out with 55 oranges, that's actually quite a lot. So it makes Tula actually one of the better masters to do the full clear with. Another nice property about the about using Tula is that the oranges have a pretty high base score compared to the blue pegs. The point boost purple peg, it actually has a base value of 500 as opposed to the usual base value of 10, but then the oranges still have a base value of 100 each, which is quite significant. If you get a whole bunch of with the sort of burst of oranges that you get immediately with Tula, often in these challenges we can just get a free ball from points right at the start of the level. Which would otherwise require an absolutely insane shot to do. Okay, so now we go back here. For this one, we're just playing Cinder. You saw there's so much moving crud in this level, but this is another level where the corner fireballs end up being incredibly strong. So it did kind of look like it's sort of give you the same problem that I had been talking about in 10-2, which is lots of sort of loose ring segments that are sort of hard to clear out, but in this case they sort of show up early enough where it's not too bad to sort of get good combos on them. I missed a bunch of free ball buckets, unfortunately, so this level is looking a bit jank. Get through. Ah, that's too bad. Too much skill issue here. No, not this level. I'm not sure if I can chain this green peg with the first fireball. If I do the normal corner shot. This cycle... Okay, this time it didn't work. I think I saw that same sort of green gen last week or so, and then I also tried this and it didn't work. But the reason I want to sort of specifically go for the chains here is because obviously this level is a bit cycle based, and in particular the cycle that you naturally get from getting fireballs back to back is actually pretty good. In this case we still got a pretty good cycle, but I'm not that... but since usually if I play this level with Cinder, it would be very early on in the run, in some kind of NG plus category where you can just get to play the run with the master you want immediately. Yeah, it's just these two left, so... usually when a level is too hard to sort of beat with the intended master, we really want to be using Cinder on it, so... you're gonna see a lot of that, basically. I missed the strat. I really don't... You don't want to miss the strat here. So in this case, we get like a really strong... did I really hit that twice in a row? Ugh. Since apparently I shouldn't trust myself to hit it now. This isn't great, but I think I'm gonna actually play this. Alright, so I think y'all did see this. Oh no, oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, that was almost sad. It's still sad, of course. Okay, I'm not sure what's wrong here and why I completely forgot what this shot looks like. Okay, I think that's the correct one. Thank you. Okay, I had a really weird parry in there, but it works out. So yeah, as you can see, if you just get a strat and the fireballs, the level actually becomes completely trivial to full clear. Cinder strats are not here apparently. Just a bit weird. Alright, so here these fireballs are sort of geared out at taking out the lower middle bit of the level, which, as I've talked before, is really hard to sort of get naturally. Since on the other diagonal lines, we can get toward those kind of slides that you saw there. But obviously, because of the nature of taking out the taking out the middle of the level early, the end part of the level become a fair bit of free boss killing. It's just this one. So Splork on this level ends up being an incredibly convenient for clearing out the size of the level. Then basically just do this and be done with basically be done with the right side. So yeah, a rare extra instance of Sprock. Since Sprock is one of the most highly situational masters, if you were to use Sprock on many different levels, then you end up then sort of the experience is gonna go up and down a fair bit. Some levels become really easy, some levels are really challenging to beat with Sprock. Right, we have to do this. So this level is very shape dependent, is the word I like to use. Since on these big sort of slides, see, this is an extremely terrible shot. Having like a big ring sector remaining, having like a big exposed ring sector that you can just sort of line up, take your time to line up a slide there and sweep that out effectively. In this case, although I'm getting decently lucky, no, that's not gonna work. I'll just have to go right. Let's try this. Right, that did something incredibly weird. Let's try doing this. Didn't quite work, but maybe Peggle, thank you. Alright, I got good luck here. Now let's not fail this again. Alright, so in this case, that lone orange pack on the top left is a good kind of safety orange. It's a good idea to have a safety orange to sort of... Do I like this layout? Not really, but I'm gonna keep playing it. Having a safety orange on the top is a good way to sort of avoid getting an early nut. But I personally tend to play pretty often without without a safety orange. Okay, so this strat is really interesting. With getting the right part of the with getting a right kind of gap bounce there, you actually get to get 2 extra bounces for free, which is pretty cool. This is one of the few levels where such a thing is like easy to line up. So although it is in theory possible on any level that where you can sort of line up where you don't have to deal with extra obstacles for the fireball. There's not a lot of levels where you can reasonably go for it. Because for most levels we... oh, this is actually kind of jank. Gotta focus up a bit. Especially because of this nonsense. Okay, okay, thank you. Thankfully that hit. So I think, yep, we're actually onto the final level, which is Zen Frog. And this level is so cursed that there is exactly one feasible strategy to get a full clear. Well, there is 2, but for... it's really dark. Hang on. That's better. The IL strat is actually a bit different from doing this. But it's really hard, still really hard to actually beat the level with it. This strat is really annoying, really janky, really hard, because you can just get balls like that you cannot return, and then you just have to reset. Or you can miss the green. That's also great. That's also a great way to reset. And that makes this level just horribly inconsistent to do the full clear on. I do think when I like practice this, I have like good days where like actually getting a clear only takes me a few tries. But also bad days where I can just get stuck on this for 20 minutes. thankfully, this time it's going quite alright. But I gotta keep paying attention to not fail this. Okay, so I did go out, but at this point what I've done on the right side is pretty good. Now I need to also not fail on the left side. The two sides of this level do have a slightly different complexion to them when you do the strat, because oh, fuck off! That's not even worth playing. Unfortunate. But yeah, as I've said, both sides of this level sort of have a different complexion to them, because the left helix is actually placed slightly closer to the wall than the right helix. Ooh, that was completely skill issue. I can't actually blame anyone for that except myself. Alright, I want to see if this works. Okay. Alright, and this side, even if it falls now, it's not too bad on the left side, because I got a bit lucky here, and so I've already like taken out all of the big remaining strands of pegs that you can have on the helix. Having like big strands remaining reduces your odds of getting a good combo later on in the level, so on the left side I don't the longest one I've left is the 3 in a row in the middle. So yeah, this is not quite the amount of clear shot I hope to get from the flipper part, but I do think this level is still runnable. Of course. Really? That missed? Okay. I'm gonna try this. That's a bad idea because it takes out a few of the short double bounces I can go for. Yeah, getting free balls on this is really hard. I can go for it, and I think it's starting to become the time where that makes sense. Let's go for this one, I guess. Nice. Quite as Mediocres. That's a bit of a while to try, but it worked this time. Dude, I should not be missing those. Okay. Yeah, that's a fail, unfortunately. Alright, so there is still a chance that I get a second free ball. You can get more than one free ball for points. It doesn't come up pretty often, but there's a second free ball you can get at 75,000, and then a third free ball you can get at 125,000. And usually when you get that one, you don't really need it because you already got lucky enough on the clearage itself. So getting a good amount of points is also like part of my considerations when I start out the level. Of course. So when I do get a good attempt going, since this is the final level, time is gonna be when I actually finish the full clear on this one, and that's gonna be when the end of level screen drops down after the after getting the full clear. So yeah, be a bit prepared for that, although it doesn't look like I got lucky enough this time. Of course, this is not the time for skill issue. That's bad. It's kind of interesting since this time things are going poorly, even though I haven't like failed as much as at the sort of breaking in part of the level. Just had really unlucky mid games, I think. So I can go for the bucket here as well, even though it's not super likely. Didn't get it this time. Got a good point boost spawn for the second break-in. I got a much better start this time, so hopefully this is gonna be the one. Try doing this one. Okay. Good free ball luck. Nice. Alright, unless I have like the biggest out of skill issue that I've ever seen, this should be the one, so get ready for time. Alright, and it's gonna be time coming up soon. And time. Ugh. So I can go to here, and we see we actually have all of the full clears. So that's the run. I'm pretty happy with how I did overall. I think this could have even been world record if I didn't get if the run basically didn't get Zenfrogged. Can go check real quick.
If you're curious, the final time was a 2:11:44.
Oh, that's actually hang on. No category extensions, of course. Full clears. Hey, that's a world record.
Hey, there we go. Good job.
That actually shaved off 7 minutes of the world record, so, which is pretty cool.
Oh, wow.
For such a challenging category, I wouldn't say 7 minutes is even that much. But yeah, pretty cool. And a pretty cool way to kick off the marathon. And yeah. I hope everyone watching enjoyed the run. And if anyone's interested, anyone's like watching and really likes the idea of speedrunning Peggle, then there is, of course, the main Peggle speedrunning Discord. Would you mind if I link it in chat?
You should be able to, yeah. I don't think they're
I'm not logged
like
in.
blockers, so you should be good to post it.
Hang on. I'm not logged in OBS, so if I just open the actual Twitch page. Then, yeah, that should be good. That's sort of the invite link. That's the invite link for the Peggle speedrunning Discord. Feel free to ask around a bit if you're interested. Everyone who's there is more than willing to help new runners along. And yeah, I will say good luck to the other runners with the rest of the marathon. And yeah, I'll just say my goodbye real quick, and yeah, I think I'm gonna be done now. So yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for the excellent run to start off the marathon here. Very unique run, of course. It being very unlike in terms of gameplay wise, very different than pretty much any other run or any other game being shown off here at the marathon. Of course, up next we have the Vagrant, any percent no skill by Knight63, followed by Sonic R Blackout Bingo, then Wing of Darkness after that. We'll be right back, everyone.